The NBA, man, it's been a long time since I made a video like this about the NBA and more importantly about the Chicago Bulls. There's a few things to talk about. Now, when it comes to Chicago Bulls news, there's little to nothing going on because we're not really in the bubble. We're not really seeing our team play anything of the sorts, but there is a major key point that I do want to talk about here about Jim Boylen. So without further ado, let's get into it. What's up, everybody? It's the Aidan Sports Show. Welcome back to another video. This is going to be a Chicago Bulls update video where I go through all of the discussions about Jim Boylen, the potential news going on around his future, as well as other things that have happened throughout the course of my last video to now. There's things that have happened. Now, before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments, what do you think about Jim Boylen? Do you think Jim Boylen should deserve to stay as a Chicago Bull for the period of time that it is now? Should he have a second chance to prove his worth, or do you think it's better safe than sorry and go for a new option which will arguably make a lot of the fan base happy? So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'd really like to know. So again, there's not much to talk about with the Chicago Bulls. There hasn't been much news. The only thing that's really gotten circulation around what the Bulls is doing right now is the potential draft pick that we could get. Now, when it comes to the draft, I'm very, very new to college basketball. Again, I'm not from America, so college basketball to me, watching in America, is almost like it's like something completely new. It's like a whole different type of sport, even though it's still the concept of basketball. So when it comes to college basketball, I'm still very, very new to that. So if you guys bear with me, I'm not really sure about the draft picks. Again, we are projected to get the 7th pick once again, which seems to be our lucky number these days. And hopefully the Bulls can pick the right decision. I'm not too focused on the draft at the moment because I have a feeling no matter what they decide to go with, the Chicago Bulls in the last at least 3 years, 4 years maybe, they have drafted decently well. They've drafted Larry Marketing, they've drafted Kobe White, and they've drafted Wendell Carter. So they have done significantly good in the draft in the past few years. So when it comes to who I think they're going to pick, I feel like they're going to pick the best position that is available, to be honest, because we have point guards, we have the positions, but the problem is improving on what we already have. So in my opinion, I think they're going to pick the best player available in the draft. So you guys can decide among yourselves what that is. Again, I don't really have a clue, but maybe a small forward is in the works. We're definitely going to need a small forward. But either way, that's the first thing that the Chicago Bulls fans have mainly been talking about, which is the draft. Now, I'm not sure when we're going to get our draft selection announced. If this was a month ago and there was no COVID, there was no shutdown, there was no anything, we would have already had our draft pick selected. The Summer League would have already been happening at the moment, but things change. Things happen for a reason, and obviously the draft is not going to happen at this time because there's still NBA season to continue. There's the whole bubble. NBA actually came back, man. There's a lot of scrimmages coming, and I've been really enjoying those. Watching the Bucks and the Spurs today, it was really, really good to see some basketball back, even if it's not at its greatest, purest form. It's back and there's quality, and it's still a very, very elite compared to all the other leagues that you see out there. Now, going on to the big topic of discussion, and that is Jim Boylen. So, for anybody that is unaware, it looks like the Chicago Bulls have done a complete U-turn on their stance of Jim Boylen, and they decided to keep him and ensure relevancy and safety amongst his job security. So, what do you guys think about that? Now, this has not been confirmed by any stretch of the means. There are still many people believing Jim Boylen will be fired by the end of the season and before the start of next season. But now, there is real belief that Jim Boylen will be here next season coaching the Chicago Bulls. What do you guys think about that? There's a lot of things going into my mind when I think about that. Now, I want to go into some of the reasons why Jim Boylen will probably be staying as a Chicago Bull, because there are some good reasons here. One, he hasn't really had the chance to prove himself since the new ownership and the new management styles. Now, what that means is when Arturas comes in, when Eversley came in, Jim Boylen was one of those people we automatically assumed was going to get fired. Like, it's done out here for him. His career as a Bull is over. But he's never had the chance to prove himself under this new management. He hasn't had that chance. And I feel like Arturas and Eversley are trying to find all these types of avenues to provide the best for the Chicago Bulls. And sometimes that means giving people that you think might not be the greatest at their job a second chance to prove them wrong. So, does that mean that Eversley and Arturas is the reason Jim Boylen's staying? I think that the owner in Reinsdorf has a really, really big say on whether the coach stays or not. And clearly there's an element of trust in Jim Boylen there. So I feel like it's worth at least a chance for Arturas and Eversley to actually go and give Jim Boylen. In the end, it's not a very popular decision by all stretch of the means, but that is one way of looking at why Jim Boylen could potentially be staying as a Chicago Bull head coach. Now, we all know the fans don't like this. If you go look at some of the most popular Chicago Bulls fans out there on social media, including King of the Fourth Quarter, who's the one that comes to mind, does not rate Jim Boylen at all. Now, we've all seen the reasons why Jim Boylen shouldn't be a head coach. We've seen the memes, we've seen the way he responds in the media, we've seen the way that he coaches, calling timeouts, and all of these things, all these issues that we've seen out of him. But some of these things are not just fan related. There was a stream related to Daniel Gafford. I believe Daniel Gafford was streaming NBA 2K20, and he was talking about Jim Boylen, and he said in that video that Jim Boylen he's all right. He's not that bad, but there's still a lot to improve on with it as a human and as a head coach. Now, to me, that could be seen in many different ways. Obviously, Daniel Gafford is a very young player, and I think he's not really aware of the answers he's supposed to give to people, especially on a stream. But this could be seen as either he's basically just trying to cover up for Jim Boylen by saying he's not that bad, or that he's not that great either. So in a way, people are saying that I think he's trying to say he doesn't like Jim Boylen. But I can't speak on behalf of Daniel Gafford because I don't know what he means by what he says. So if I find the video, I'll be sure to play it. But yeah, what do you guys think about that? It's very, very important that our players have to get behind this coaching decision. And if they are the first ones to say that Jim Boylen has to go, then he has to go. It's as simple as that. There's no turning it around if the players are not going to be committed to this type of game style that Jim Boylen wants to run. And in the end, Jim Boylen is very much acting like his job is safe. I think he said it from the very beginning that he believes that he will stay the head coach of the Chicago Bulls. And by the way that things are turning, it looks like he could be right. So, in the end, what do you guys think about Jim Boylen staying as a Chicago Bull? I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on. Let me know in the comments again what you think. And also, who do you think we will draft in the 2020 NBA draft? Where will we be? Who will we draft? Can we get into the top 4 of the picks and get one of an elite player? Or do you think we could settle for 7th and actually go for the best player that is available at that time? Many people are saying that some of the players from the top 4 could drop. Apparently it's a very, very stacked draft. So in the end, we have a lot to decide, especially where we're going to be placed, man. That's going to be big. Everything starts when we know where we're going to be placed. It's going to be a good time, guys. Hopefully, I can provide more Chicago Bulls videos in the long run. But until then, I'm really sorry that there hasn't been many of them going out. There's just nothing going on with the Chicago Bulls. There's seriously been nothing. So maybe I'll have to make more NBA-related topics instead of just the Chicago Bulls in the meantime, until we finally get some relevant news about the Bulls. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed watching some scrimmages of the NBA. It makes me feel sad that our Bulls are not in there, because we deserve to be in there. And in the end, next season, we're going to have to work even harder, get even better, so we can actually, if there is a circumstance like this to ever happen again, we will be one of those teams. Because as much as I love watching the Lakers and the Bucks, Spurs, all these teams, the Trailblazers, nothing compares to the Bulls basketball, because it has sentimental love and passion for the club, for the team. And when you don't get to experience that for nearly a whole year, it takes a toll on you mentally, man. So I really hope the Bulls can get things on track. I want to see more news, more media posts, everything about the Chicago Bulls. Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Take care.